Thank you for joining us now. I am Frank Omalape. As part of effort to fully diversify the nation's economy, the federal government said it is committed to taking bold steps to increase its non-oil revenues to as much as $200 billion in the next 5 years to meet its foreign exchange demands. It revealed that steps like granting incentives through exporters' sensitization, provision of border laboratories, as well as connecting Nigerian businesses to their foreign counterparts, among others, have been explored. Already, the government realized at least $2.5 billion in the first half of 2022 from the sector, it is said needed to be expanded through other efforts. Anyway, from there now, the federal government is targeting zero rejection of Nigerian products in the global market to drive foreign exchange earnings and boost revenue. Speaking at the launch of the Export Survival campaign held by the Nigerian Export Promotion Council in Abuja, Minister of Industry, Trade and Investment Niyi Adebayo said practitioners in the non-oil export value chain should adhere to global best practices for their products to receive acceptability with zero export rejection. He stressed that Nigerian product must be competitive in the international market to drive foreign exchange earnings and provide a buffer against externalities. According to Adebayo, there was no gainsaying the fact that with the Export Survivor campaign, significant mileage would be gained in the volume and value of exported Nigerian products and services. He said the official launch of the campaign was an official endorsement of the initiative to simulate the consciousness of all Nigerians to the reality that the diversification of the productive base of the economy was key to employment generation, wealth creation, and poverty reduction in the country. And in the meantime, now the International Monetary Fund has faulted the Central Bank of Nigeria's monetary policy, saying that it has been ineffective in the fight against rising inflation. The IMF, in its report, urged the Central Bank of Nigeria to pedal on increasing monetary policy rate. It advised the federal government to tighten up its fiscal policy through investment in critical sectors capable of putting the economy on a better path in the long term. According to the IMF, quote, while monetary policy has the tools to subdue inflation, fiscal policy can't put the economy on a sounder long-term footing through investment in infrastructure, healthcare and education, fair distribution of incomes and opportunities through an equitable tax and transfer system and provision of basic public services. The federal government said it has put several measures in place to forestall the scarcity of food in Nigeria as it kicked against the projections of the International Monetary Fund, stressing that there was no need for panic among citizens across the country. International Monetary Fund had on Monday said Nigerians should brace up for higher food prices risk in 2023 due to recent floods and high fertilizer prices. But the Federal Ministry of Agriculture and Rural Development opposed the position of the global financial institution as it provided a document detailing what the FMARD had done and was doing to avert such crisis. In the document on long-term, short-term measures to ameliorate the disruptions of food production and supply in Nigeria, the ministry said it was implementing various interventions to mitigate the anticipated disruptions occasioned by the recent floods. And in the meantime, Nigeria's oil rig count has increased for the first time in 4 months to 8, a 14% increase from the previous month, according to the Organization of the Petroleum Exporting Countries, OPEC. The improvement in exploration activities was also reflected in the amount of oil produced in October, despite still being below pace in Africa and the world. According to OPEC, out of the 30 members, crude oil output increased mainly in Nigeria and Iraq, while production in Saudi Arabia and Angola declined. Nigeria's oil output increased by 77,000 barrels per day to 1.014 million barrels per day based on direct communication. Also, the Nigerian Upstream Petroleum Regulatory Commission's oil production status report for October 2022 revealed that the country's oil production increased to 1.02 million barrels per day. And now the World Bank has said that subsidies benefit only a rich household and reduce government spending on poor Nigerians. This was contained in a statement on bank's website announcing the launch of the new Nigeria Public Finance Review report. According to the bank, Nigeria's resources had been consumed by inefficient and regressive subsidiaries on petrol or subsidiaries on petrol, electricity, and foreign exchange. It added that the subsidies were far more than what was spent on education, health, and social protection in 2021. It further noted that Nigeria had one of the lowest public expenditure and revenue levels in the world, undermining the government's ability to improve service delivery. The bank added that low tax rates and poor utilization of tax bases, weaknesses in tax administration, and large deductions from all revenues were limiting Nigeria's ability to generate enough revenues. Rivers State Governor Nyesom WIKE has presented a budget estimate of 550 billion naira for the 2023 fiscal year, the highest to be projected by his administration since assuming office in 2015. He also announced free feeding program for pupils in primary schools to increase enrollment. WIKE will be handing over by May next year, said the budget is aimed at consolidating his achievement in the state. He said the 2023 budget proposal is anchored on the assumptions that crude oil price benchmark will be $70 per barrel at a 1.5 million barrels production per day, an exchange rate of 435 naira to the dollar, and state economic growth projection of between 4.5 and 5% among others. According to him, the budget will be funded from the Federation Account Allocation Committee receipt, 13% oil mineral derivation fund, internally generated revenue, bank loans, sales of state asset, and grants from development agencies. Tagged budget of consolidation and continuity, WIKE said the sum of 175 billion naira, representing about 31% of the total budget, is proposed for recurrent expenditure, while the sum of 350 billion naira, representing about 63% of the total budget, is allocated for capital expenditure in the line with the vision to prioritize capital expenditures over recurrent. And now the average price of 5 kilogram cooking gas increased from 4,474 48 kobo in September to 4,483 naira 75 kobo in October, representing about 0.21% rise. This was disclosed by the National Bureau of Statistics in its cooking gas price watch for October 2022 released. On a year-on-year basis, the increase was 70.62% from that's about 2,627 naira 94 kobo in October last year to 4,483 naira in October, the NBS stated. On a state profile analysis, the report shows that Kwara recorded the highest average price of 4,955 naira for 5 kilogram of cooking gas, followed by Niger State at 4,950 and Adamawa at 4,940 naira. The report states that Abia recorded the lowest price of 4,045 naira, followed by Kano and Delta at 4,100 naira and 4,139 naira respectively. And now the move by the federal government to slam 20% on carbonated soft drinks has attracted criticism from manufacturers and stakeholders alike. Speaking on IBrandTV's Business Breakfast on Tuesday, Steve Okafor, a business analyst, noted that such move was not needed, considering the present reality on ground.
The government, they are just being short-sighted. They are looking at, they've done their calculation. This is how much we will make from taxing carbonated drinks. But they are not looking at the long-term effect. That should this industry crumble, should this industry not be able to possibly operate and break even, what's going to happen? You fold up, and then that inevitably you are looking at with at the end of the day not be able to you can't get as much as you would have done if you had done more like an encouragement, because remember, this is an industry that is grappling with high cost of electric power generation,
energy cost. Import.
You're talking of FX, you're talking of so a whole lot of things.
Yeah.
And most of them are also they can't even reach because of insecurity. Their product cannot reach to the nook and crannies of the country to reach the consumers. So they are facing a lot of things. And then considering that we are in an economy where things are at the lowest ebb, industries rather need encouragement rather than having higher tax. As for the consumer, you and I know before even last year, how much was a bottle of malt now?
It was, yes?
This way. When these companies migrate out of Nigeria and have to bring in their product back to us to sell, it can now attract the exchange rate and it becomes very exorbitant for the consumers to buy.
You've been watching Business Now, coming to you live from our studios here in Lagos. Still to come after the break. Oil rises of Saudi comments outweigh recession concerns. I'll bring you details and more news update after this commercial break. Please stay with us.